Today I'm with another live session, and it's about the PR pathways from the courses called Community Services. I'll be discussing about the PR pathways from the community services, and then also discussing about the state's criteria. So due to the length of the time, so I'll be just focusing on the only 3 states criteria. They are NSW, Canberra, and Western Australia. And you may have a questions during the presentation, so you might ask the questions while I'm giving the presentation. Then I'll go to at the end of the session, and then I'll take your questions and answer at the end. So I'm going to share my screen now, and hopefully you can see my screen. Okay, so today's pathway is for the community services, and I'll be discussing about NSW, Canberra, and Western Australia state nomination. And I'm a registered migration agent at Aussizz Group Sydney branch. So topics today is popular occupation after studying community services, and its PR pathway in 3 different states: NSW, Canberra, and Western Australia, and then followed by the question and answer session at the end. So what happens after studying the community services? So there are some occupation that you can achieve after studying the community services, and they are welfare center manager, and this occupation is in medium and long-term list. And you also can get the skills assessment as a welfare workers, community workers, disability services officer, family support workers, residential care officer, and youth workers. So all the occupations other than welfare center manager, they are on a short-term list, which means you can only apply for the 190 and 491 if you are applying for the general skill migration. And if you are looking for the employee sponsor visa, you can only apply 482 and 494. So as of now, still we have not got update from the immigration whether short-term list will be eligible to apply for the 186 or not. So at the end of the this year, there will be some more updates, and 482 holders who are on a short-term list in the one of the occupation listed here, then there might be pathway for you to apply for the 186 through the employee sponsor visas. So for the process, PR process that is divided into general skill migrations and employee sponsor visa. Under the general skill migrations, you have 3 different visas: 189, 491, and 190. And under the employee sponsor visa, you do have 3 different visas. They are 482, 494, and 186. So out of these 6, 186 from the employee sponsor side and 189 and 190 from the general skill migration side, they are the permanent residents, which means once you get this visa, then there is no further conditions, then you can apply for the citizenship if you are eligible. However, for the 491 or 482 or 494, that is, they are not the PR itself, so they are still a pathway to the PR. You have to meet the conditions of the 491 or 482, whatever visa you're getting, and then later on you have to apply for the permanent residency in 189, 190, or 186 visas. So under the general skill migration side, first step for you to do is a skills assessment. So we're going to talk about how you can get the skills assessment once you study community services courses. And then next step is lodging expression of interest, where you will be calculating your points. Minimum points as of now is 65 points. Then you will be eligible to express your interest to apply for the 199, 190, and 491. And after collecting your points, then you need to meet the criteria for the each state. Every state have a different criteria for the 190 and 491. So you have to meet the criteria for the particular state to get the invitations, and you have to wait for your turn to get invitation. And after the invitation, then you will be given 60 days to lodge the visa, and then you wait for the grant. Now, under the employee sponsor visa, skills assessment is not mandatory if you are looking to apply for the 482 visa. So most of the occupations under the community services, they do fall into the short-term list, which means you can opt for the 482 visa without having a skills assessment. And for this one, you need to collect at least 2 years of experience, and the experience can be through the multiple employer, or maybe it can be onshore experience or offshore experience. So it doesn't have to be with the same employer that you are currently working with. And you need to find a suitable employer, or if you already have an employer, that you can go and have a chat with them and then see the possibility of applying the 482 or 186 visa through the employee sponsors. and your employer will lodge the standard business sponsorship and nomination, and then once the nomination is approved, then you can lodge the visa for it to visa under the employer sponsor visas. So one thing difference between employer sponsor visa and general skill migration side is you don't have to wait for the employer sponsor visa to lodge. It's not like invitation based. So once you have a skills assessment, once you have a enough experience, and once your employer is willing to sponsor you, then you can directly lodge the visa without actually waiting for the invite. Okay, so now for the general skill migration, it is points tested. So obviously you will need an invitation from the to lodge the visa. Okay, so our first step in lodging the PR pathway is getting your skills assessment done. So authority for this occupation is Australian Community Worker Association, which is also called ACWA. And the first occupation that we have in the list is Welfare Center Manager. For this occupation, you need to meet the qualification requirement as well as the English requirement and also the employment requirements. So in regards to the qualification requirements, you need to at least bachelor degree, and the bachelor degree must be in the strong focus with the welfare and community services. And some of the examples of the eligible qualifications are master and bachelor degree in community services, human services or social work, bachelor of community mental health, master of health and service management, master degree in community development, master degree in sociology, or master degree in public health. So if you have one of these qualification, or if you are from the offshore, or if you are currently studying here, then you do meet the qualification requirement for this occupation. Now, once you meet the qualification requirement, then you also need to meet the English requirements, and you can meet the English requirement by having any one of these conditions met. So you can do either English or PTE, where you need a 7 or 65 in each, and if your bachelor degree was completed in a country where English language is a main language, then you do meet the requirement for the English, or you might also get the English exemptions if you can show the 2 years of experience in an English speaking country. And English speaking country means Australia, United Kingdom, Ireland, United States of America, Canada, and New Zealand. So once you meet the English requirement, then you also need to meet the employment requirements, where you need actually 3 years of full-time or part-time equivalent as a welfare center manager. And full-time means 30 hours per week here. So to get the skills assessment under the welfare center manager, you need to have a 3 years of experience, you need to have a bachelor degree, and also you need to meet the English requirement, which is equivalent to 7. Now, another occupation is welfare worker, and you can meet the qualifications by doing any one of these following. So you just need a diploma, and if the diploma is accredited, then your skills assessment pathway, it will be easier. If you don't have an accredited diploma, then you need to have at least bachelor degree in the community and human services focus. And let's say, like, I have seen a lot of applicants who is studying non-accredited diploma. So it's clearly said that you don't meet the approved, then diploma is not one of the qualifications. So it will fall under the recognized qualification, where you need a bachelor degree or higher. And after meeting the qualification requirement, again, the English requirement is same for this one. You need to get 7, or if you have done a bachelor degree or higher, any degree from English speaking country, then you do meet the English requirement. So for this occupation, you just need a 1 year of experience. For this occupation, you just need 2 years of experience if your qualification is not accredited. If your qualification is accredited, then the accredited qualification is deemed to have a sufficient industry, experience through their field placement. So you don't need any employment requirements for the skills assessment. So you make sure that you study the ACWA accredited qualification and also do the placement, industry field placement, not the online placement. So recently we have seen a couple of applications where applicants were not getting the skills assessment because of placement was done online, not through the field placement. So in that case, they were asked to do the further 2 years of full-time experience to get the skills assessment. So make sure that you meet all the requirement, not only one, and then there will be a positive outcome for you. Now, another occupation is community worker, and qualification is again ACWA accredited, then diploma is enough. Or if you don't have an accredited qualification, then you need at least bachelor degree. And the qualification need to have a strong focus in community and human services. English requirement is same for all the occupation, again 7 or 65 each in PTE. And again, same criteria applies here as well. So if your qualification is accredited, then you don't need a work experience, because accredited means you will have a sufficient industry experience through your placement. And if your qualification is not accredited, then you need 1 year of full-time experience, and then you can get the positive outcome as a community worker. Another occupation that you can achieve after studying community services is disability services officer. Again, accredited qualification is important here, and you need a diploma or higher, and in a specialized more focus in disability services. Or if you don't have a accredited qualification, then relevant diploma with the specialization in disability services will also work. Or if you have if you don't have a specialized qualification but this general qualification, then that can be considered, where you just need to have a qualification comparable to the diploma or higher, and strong focus in community and human services. So those who are doing the qualification, non-accredited qualification, then you might get this qualification done through this occupation, where you just need a 7, and now you need to meet the employment requirement because your qualification was not accredited. So if your qualification not accredited, then so there can be 2 situations: your qualification not accredited, but you still have a disability, focus on disability. So that time you just need to have a 1 year of full-time experience. And if you don't have a accredited qualification, and also you have a non-specialized qualification, then you will need a 2 years of full-time experience in a disability services setting. So another occupation is family and support worker. And again, accredited qualification is very important, with a strong focus in family services or children and families. And if your qualification is not accredited, then you might meet the qualification requirement just by having a relevant diploma, or just having a relevant qualification with non-specialized. Again, employment requirements is same: 1 year of full-time experience if you do have a relevant qualification, or a relevant diploma in specialized services in children, or if you do have just a relevant qualification without specialization, then you need a 2 years of experience. Or if you do have a accredited qualification, then you don't need a experience to for the skills assessment. So another one is a residential care officer. Again, you need a ACWA approved qualification, and if you don't have a ACWA qualification, then you will need a 1 year or 2 years of full-time experience to get the skills assessment. And English requirement is same like this, and it is 7 or 65 in PTE. For the youth worker also, again, accredited qualification is important. If you do have a accredited qualification, then you don't need experience. And if you don't have a accredited qualification, again, you need a 1 year or 2 years of full-time experience. So this is how you can get the skills assessment done. So you may notice that having an accredited qualification is really important, because you don't need a work experience for the skills assessment. So if you just go for the qualification other than accredited, then you might have to go for the 1 year of full-time experience, or sometimes 2 years of full-time experience, which might be challenging for you to get the experience here. So all the time you make sure that the course that you are studying is accredited and then the required level. Okay, so after getting your skills assessment, then you will be lodging your EOI, where you will be calculating the points. So as of now, we do have 8 different categories where you can get the points. You will get the points depending upon your age, English, skill employment, which is after the qualification, your education level. It can be bachelor, master, any degree, and Australian study, 2-year study, or if you have done any, master degree in STEMs, then you get 10 points, NATI, PY. So PY is not applicable here. So you can get only points through the NATI and regional study. And partner single, if you are single, 10 points. If you have a partner with computer English, 5 points. And if you have a partner with computer English as well as skills assessment, then 10 points. So this is how you calculate the points. You lost the UI and then you calculate the points. So as of now, 65 is the threshold points to lose the UI, and anything more than 65 is the bonus. So more points you have, then you don't have to wait for long. Okay, so after calculating the points, then you will need to meet the criteria for the each test. So as I mentioned you before, I'm just going to talk about NSW, Canberra, and WA. So I have gone through the list, and then I found NSW last year all the occupations were in the list, and in the Canberra also all the occupations were listed. And in Western Australia, yes, all the occupations were in a list, different lists. Some of them were in a graduate list 1 list, some of them were in a schedule 2 list, some were in a schedule 1 and 2 list. So once you find your occupation in a particular state, then you will need to meet the criteria for that state. So for example, so this is I'm going to discuss in next slide. So for the 190 to get, sorry, for the NSW for the 190, so we are still waiting for the NSW to release its occupation list. So my this requirement in the list is for the last financial year. So last financial year, all the occupation were in the 190 list, and the residency requirement was 6 months, either onshore or offshore. And we have seen invitation as low as 70 points for the 190 from NSW. And for the 491, the residency requirement was 3 months, onshore or offshore, and there were 2 different pathways, pathway 1 and pathway 2. So pathway 1 was, you just, once you find your occupation in pathway 1, then you can apply directly to RDA by saying that you have a skills assessment on occupation that is listed under pathway 1, or you just wait for the under the pathway 2, you just wait for the NSW to invite you for the 491. For the Canberra, for the 190, you must be living in Canberra for 6 months and have work, so 30 hours. So this has been reduced from 35 to 30 hours per week for continuously 26 weeks. And then you need to apply through the Canberra matrix, and highest matrix will be selected for the 190. And again, for the 491, your residency requirement is 3 months and have worked 20 hours every week continuously for 3 months. And then instead of UI, you need to lose the matrix for the Canberra to get the nomination. And the occupation was also open for the offshore, where for the 491 you will need 3 years of full-time postgraduate work experience. And for the 190, you need to have a job offer, and then again the process is to apply through the matrix. Now moving forward to WA, WA do have 3 different occupation lists: schedule 1, schedule 2, and graduate list. So for the 190 and 491, the criteria are almost same. It is just for the schedule 2, there is a little bit different criteria. For the schedule 1, if your occupation is under the schedule 1, then you need to have a 1 year of experience and claim 5 points already in a UI. And also you need to get the 1 year of full-time contract for the schedule 1. Now, most of the these occupations are on under the schedule 2 list. So you can see in my previous slide. So most of the occupations are on a schedule 2 list. So having occupation under the schedule 2 list means if you are targeting to apply for the 190, then you need an employment contract for 6 months. Or if you're just looking to apply for the 491, then you don't need a employment contract. So graduate list, so if you are a graduate of WA, then you need to show the evidence that you have studied in WA for 2 years and the 6 months of work or employment contract is needed for the nomination. And this criteria is same to 190 and 491. So WA is inviting applicants who are currently living in WA and have their skills assessment in the healthcare sector. So all the occupations, in the community services, they do fall into the healthcare sector. So you do have a very good chance from the WA. for the 190 and 491. If you can get the job offer 190, or if you just simply move to the WA, then you can have a high chance to get the invitation from the WA under the 491. And then again, the highest points will be considered, and then oldest UI will be considered. So just today, so I just thought to include this in my slides. So just today we have received a allocation for all the states, and it does not look that great. So you can see NSW has got in allocation only for 2,650 for the 190, and for the 491 it is only 1,500 allocation. So you can see there has been a significantly reduced number of allocation, which is almost 70% than the previous financial year. So it looks like the the current financial year will be more competitive, because you can see the allocation number are less, and then obviously when you have allocation number are less, then more competitive, and you might have to do do something extra which other applicants have not done it. So you can see like only 10,300 allocations for the 190 visa and 6,400 allocation for the 491 visa. So previously, only one states were getting the 6,400 allocation for the 491 itself. But now, if you combine all the allocation for the different states, and it is just for the 6,400 allocation. So you need to now plan your PR for the 190 or 491. According to this allocation. There will be a lot of competitions going on for this financial year. So why you should choose this career? So because it has a high job sectors with more funding from the NDIS and other states government. And you can also say that's one of the critical service sector where this occupation are being prioritized in almost all the states. And also like the entry level to get these occupations are low as compared to other occupations. And also in terms of the pay skills, it is rewarding career, and you can get the job easily. So if you need any help in these courses and the PR pathways, definitely all these group offices will help you with this process. And if you are already graduated, then you can also book a consultation with us about the PR pathways and further. Okay, so now I'm almost at the end of the session, and now I'll start taking the question from you. Okay. So I've got a question from Sam Sadiku. Is Diploma of Community Services, Start College Education is accredited by CWA? So I'll share the screen here. So if you go to here, this website, then you'll see the colleges and institutions that are accredited. So your question was for the Sturt College. So Bachelor of Community Services from the Sturt College is accredited as per their website. Okay, there's another question from Rana Hassan. Hi, actually, I have a question. I'm currently doing diploma of Community Services, but my college is not SCDAW. I have already completed 1 year. And is there a master course available for community work? Okay, so if your course is not accredited, then you can see it will be very difficult for you to get the skills assessment. So it's better that you either go for the accredited or you choose the higher qualification. So definitely our team can help you with the getting the master degree courses. So you can contact us, and then we can help you with the appropriate courses, because the appropriate course is really important for the skills assessment. Okay, so I got another question from Sam Sharma. So I have done diploma in community services welfare from Australia, and 7 Australian community services experience, 5 Indian experience currently in Nepal. Okay, so diploma community services from Australia. Then okay, so it looks like you do have a 12 years of experience. Is that correct? Then if your experience is in the appropriate setting, then you can apply for the skills assessment. Is a welfare worker, and obviously you have to meet the English requirements. And yeah, I don't think any problem with the getting skills assessment, because you do have a experience, and yeah, you can get the skills assessment. Okay, can you get the TR after diploma? So diploma is after the diploma. So only the welfare, if you have to apply for the welfare center manager, so that occupation requires the bachelor degree. So if you are just doing the diploma, then you don't get the TR. So you need to do at least bachelor degree. Okay, question from Sam. When I enroll in Stars College by Aussizz, it was accredited before 2 years, but now the college is not accredited as they change the course for 1 year for new student. Could you let me know? Okay, so now it was already accredited, but now the college is not accredited as they change the course for 1 year for. Okay, so Sam, I think you better come and see us. I do not have the answer as of now here, so I'll have to see you, and then also the education consultant, then we can figure out something for you. So better like you contact the Aussizz group and then figure out, because okay, so can you recommend any master courses regarding community services? Okay, yes, we do have some master degree courses. So obviously I do not have an education consultant with me now, so I do not have exactly the fees and the courses. So but if you can contact us, definitely our education agent will be in touch with you, and then help you with the course. Okay, so I'm doing a live session here, and it's about the community services and PR pathways. So if you do have any questions regarding this topic, please leave your questions, and then I'll get back to you. How favorable is today's update from South Australia? So if you can see, allocation number has been significantly dropped, and which means there will be more competitions. And so the last year was a golden year, where anyone with the 65 points and just not doing their job in their field were getting the invite. So because of the less allocation, the competition will be more, and then but I think there is definitely something later at the end of the year, because they need a skilled people, and also like the allocation that they have published does not look that promising, so they will change it to something better. So it is just like the first stage, and obviously later stage they are about to change their entire migration, and then they will come up with the different allocation and different criteria. Okay, question from Monica. Is there any band requirement for graduate diploma or early childhood education band requirements? Are you talking about the English requirements? So if you are talking about the English requirement, then yes, there is a band requirements where you need to get 7.7 and 8.8. If you have not done a bachelor degree 4-year study in an English-speaking country, so that do fall into the different categories. So that is like early childhood teacher. Okay, Yeah, so you can contact Aussizz Group. So we are located in Sydney, Sydney branch. So we are, you can contact by phone number or email. So our phone number is 0291528585, or you can email me directly, and my email is suman.kc@aussizzgroup.com. Hey. So do you have any more questions? I'm talking about the community services and PR pathways. What are the chances of TR in community work? Okay, so like I said, if you do the one is bachelor, then you can get the TR after the community work. If you are only doing the diploma, then you are not going to get, because you have to select an occupation, and then most of the occupations other than welfare center manager, they are on a short-term list, where short-term occupations are not able to get the 485 visa. So if you are doing the diploma, then you must do the bachelor degree. Okay, 106 direct entry processing time, so it's around a 1 year time after the lodgement. So I'm just still waiting for, is there any band requirement? Yeah, I think I answered that question. So band requirements, English band requirements, right? So if it is for the English band requirement, then 7 IELTS, they only accept IELTS, not the PT, then 77 and 88. 88 in speaking and listening, and reading and writing 77. And they do allow the 2 sitting, so you can do actually the 2 sitting IELTS and then meet the requirements. Okay, what are the chances for motor mechanic with 70 points and 190 with 75 points in this financial year? Okay, so look, if you ask about the previous financial year, yes, I would say good chances. But looking at the allocation this year, so having just points and without work experience, it may not be good good for the applicants. So because the allocation number are very less, so there will be a lot of competition. So try to increase the points, but I still put the UI for the 190. And if 190 seems, you just see a couple of invitation and see whether how they inviting it. And if they are like just inviting people with the higher points, then you might also need to consider for the phone hour, because later on we don't know what will happen. And as like the 190, there is no difference between 190 and 190. Just like you have to stay 1 more extra. Even if you get the 190, also you have to stay 2 more in the state anyway. So there is no significant difference. It's just like get whatever you can get it. Because once you wait, and then if the allocations are like this, and then there are a lot of competitions, then you might even lose the 491, and there might be like a lot of competition in the 491 too. But I will still put the UI for both. How much work experience do you need to apply with the highest points? So look, work experience is, you can only get the work experience when you have a get the 5 points when you have a 1 year work experience. And after this, 3 to 5 years of work experience can give you the 10 points. So there is no like specific answer to it. It's just like keep on working the occupation. Sometimes in the UI, when you load the UI saying that you have working occupations, even though that is not giving you the points, then your UI looks better than other UI where they are not even working in the occupations. So keep working in occupations, if the invitation comes, otherwise you also can go for the employer sponsor visa, because after 2 years you can apply for it too. After 3 years you can apply the 186 visa. So there is no harm in carrying on working. So keep on working, because looks like they are only prioritizing people with the skill, which means having work experience. Okay, today's update in favor of NSW. So look, today's update, I don't think it is a favor of any of the states, because all the states, allocation has been slashed by 70%. So it's not only the NSW, is about all the states, and at least as compared to other states, NSW do have a large number of allocation, but there is a significant drop from the previous financial year. So it's just NSW was always competitive, and then with the allocation number is going to be more competitive. And but only the way to get the nomination from the NSW is having a work experience, because anyone can get the English, anyone can get the NATI, anyone can get the PT. So these are like the only the work experience that differentiate the applicants from other applicants. So better, if you are not working occupation, then better you start the better you start looking for your job. Okay, so is there any more questions? Okay, so we'll be doing the live session on a regular basis, and the topics will be announced prior to our live session. So if you have any interest in topics, then you can join that topic. And also, like, if you want to know any, if you want us to do any live session in a particular topic, then you can also give us a suggestion. Then we try to cover that topics in our live session. So we do live session every week, and yeah, so you can join one of the session and get the answers. Well, what about disability sector? So so the question is not complete. So are you talking about employer sponsor or general skill migrations? So can you specify, please? Okay, so yes, so if let's say like disability sector, yes, of course, most demanding, even your disability, you can also apply for the 482 186 through them. And if you are employee sponsored visa, okay, so employee sponsored visa disability sector, so your employer need to need to sponsor you as a residential care officer, and that is for the 482. And later on, at the end of this financial year, there will be a 186 pathway for those who are on a short-term list, and your employer need to sponsor you again. So if you have a employer who is supportive to you, and then you also do have a qualification as well as experience, then getting the PR through the disability sector or any sector is not that far. Okay, so I think I'm done with the questions, and I'll come up with another live session with a different topic. So if you do have any questions, then you can also ask there. So I think for now, I'll end my session now here. Thank you all.